Hey band, it's Miss Taylor. I am here to help you with chart 9.5 if you need some help with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you so you see what I'm doing. All right, you should see my screen here that allows you to be able to see what I'm doing. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to help you work through this first line here. So this is the one we're going to do. So if you've got your music, have that handy so that you can follow along with me, and hopefully we'll be able to take care of any questions you might have through this video. All right, so the first thing that you always want to do is let's fill in what you know first. So let's find all of our numbers. So if you remember, in 4/4 time, we always have the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a measure. So let's go right in all of our 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. So you remember quarter notes get one beat. So those, of course, are going to get one number. So this first one is, of course, going to get a 1. And then the very next note, since we've got a quarter note, is going to get its next number, 2. Let's worry about this 8th note here in just a minute. We'll come back to that. Okay, what we're going to just keep doing is finding our numbers. So you'll notice we've got 2 more quarter notes. So we're just going to give them another 3 and a 4 for this first measure. All right, measure 2. Actually, let's continue with measure 1. All right, so you remember for every beat, there's a down and an up, or a number and an and. So remember, we always count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so these 2 notes are here are 2 8th notes. Okay, and remember the second 8th note is an and. Okay, so if we're going to try and figure out what the second 8th note is, just remember it's always an and you're just going to fill it an and. So this first measure you would count 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, simple as that. Now we're in measure 2 here, and you see this first note. It might look a little unfamiliar if you're in 6th grade. It might look pretty familiar for 7th and 8th graders. Okay, so that note there is 1.5 beats. Okay, if we've got 1.5 beats, we're going to take up 3 8th notes. Okay, so if we look back up here where I'm underlining in the top of the screen here, looking at our numbers again, if we're going to think about 8th notes, remember a number is an 8th note and and is an 8th note. Okay, so we're going to count 1, 2, 3 8th notes worth. Okay, so for this first note here, we're going to make sure it gets 1 and 2. Okay, so we're going to write the first number of the beat really big. And since it's more than one beat, everything else is going to be really little because we don't actually articulate anything else. Okay, so the and 2, sorry, that's my dog barking at the mailman. I'm going to close that door. Hold on. Okay, that should help. All right, so we have given the and 2 that we underlined up here for the 3 8th notes worth to this note. Okay, so this note is now full, and we've got to figure out what this note right here gets. Since we've already used up 1 and 2, the next thing on the list is an and. Okay, so we're going to give this next 8th note here a big and. Okay, so that'll be the next thing you say. And since we've used up the and here, now we've gone on to 2 more quarter notes that you see right here. Okay, so we've got those 2 quarter notes circled. Those are just like normal quarter notes that we all know and love. So we're just going to give them the last 2 numbers of the beat, 3, 4. Pretty simple so far. All right, so now we are in measure 3 here, which I just bracketed so you see where we're at. Okay, we are going to fill in the easy part first. So we've got 3 quarter notes in a row. That's super simple. We're just going to count 1, 2, 3. Because remember, it gets one number. And then these 2 notes here, we've been doing those for a while. You know, those are just 8th notes. So you're going to give them the last 2 things, which is 4, 4, and. Let me erase some of this stuff so it's a little less busy. There we go. All right, and then we have found ourselves in measure 4. Okay, if you want to go super simple, just use your resources that we've already written in, and you'll notice measure 4 is the same thing as measure 2. So if you really want to go super simple, you can just copy what you did in measure 2. Otherwise, we'll go back over it again. So this note, remember, it gets 3 8th notes worth of time. And since we're starting on beat 1, we're going to count up here on our little numbers. 1, 2, 3 eighth notes. So we're going to give it a big old 1. And remember, since it's longer than 1 beat, everything else is going to be little so we can get it out of the way. And 2 is going to be really small. So that way we have given it all 3 of the eighth note that belong to it. And if you remember, last time we found just the very next thing on the list here, because that is an eighth note. So since we've done 1 and 2, the next thing is that little and right there. So we're going to use that and we are going to write a big old and right there because that note goes on an upbeat. And then remember, we're just going to use our process of elimination. We've got 2 quarter notes there. They get 1 beat. So we're just going to write 3, 4. There you go. So we have written the counts in here. If you want some help with counting the note, I'm going to give you a little toe tap up here. So if you look back in the screen at my face, my hand is going to be your toe tap, and I'm going to count these rhythms for you. Okay, so I'm going to start with measure 1 right here. And 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 3, 4. So that's how you would count that first line. I hope that helps you guys out. Please let me know if you've got more questions. I'm here to try and give you as many guides and helpful hints as I possibly can. Just shoot me a quick message, comment on Google Classroom, and I will try to make more videos as you need them. Otherwise, I hope you guys are doing well, staying safe and healthy, and I cannot wait to see you again.